Hello, everyone. It's me, Joanne Webb, the happiness hustler, on the Sacred Relationship Lab. And you'll see, usually it's me and Mr. Stacy Taylor, but he can't be here today. He is going away for a few weeks. So, but there were still some questions. And I thought, do you know what? One perspective is better than no perspectives. So, no, you won't be able to hear it from the men's point of view today, the male perspective. But I thought, well, we've got questions, let's answer them. And if Stacy has the time, he can hop on and he can put some comments below. So, here at the Sacred Relationship Lab, it's a safe and sacred place to have any of your relationship questions answered. Whether it's about intimate relationships, family, friends, money, career, the relationship with yourself, because everything in life is a relationship. The two questions I have today are both about intimate relationships. And the first question is, how do I rebuild trust after it is broken? And trust can be broken in many ways. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean infidelity, an affair. It can be gambling. It can be non-transparency, small lies leading to big results. I don't know what the issue here is, but how do I build trust after it is broken? I believe the only way we can rebuild trust, is with absolute honesty. And the person who has broken the trust needs to take a good look within and find out why they did that. Because that's usually where things go wrong. We can apologize for things we've done. We can say, I'm desperately sorry for the things I have done or how I've behaved or the sadness that this has caused. But unless the person goes in and finds out why they have done it, what has fueled them to break that trust, then the trust is likely to be broken again because there will be no healing. There's no answers to the root cause. And there is answers if you want to find them. And then with the couples I've worked with, and from my own personal experience and the experience of friends and people who you talk to in life, I think there has to be a real level of transparency once trust has been broken to start to rebuild that trust. I know we have this big thing, you cannot look at my phone, you cannot do this, it's my sacred space, it's private. But once trust has been broken, how can it be rebuilt if we are not prepared to let our partner, the other person, into our life? And what do we have to keep secrets about? Because that's another question. I understand if you're in the CIA and you're not allowed to talk about your job, but that's very different to most people in real life. If there are things on your phone, if there are things in your life that you cannot divulge to your partner, again, it's questioning why. Because good, solid, long-lasting, enriching relationships are built on trust, honesty, security, friendship, loyalty, support, all of these beautiful, beautiful words. But when one of them gets broken, often all of them get fractured. So when trust is broken, the respect is often questioned, the support, the loyalty, the friendship, the safety, the security. So all of a sudden, you've got all of these foundations that were holding up your relationship are all wonky or broken or fractured. So we rebuild trust by finding the root cause as to why it happened. What was fueling you? What was the desire? What was missing in your life? Or was the self-sabotage there? Finding out why. And then having a level of transparency to rebuild that trust and a level of reassurance. And then for the person who is heartbroken by the trust, to look within and find out where you don't trust yourself. Because we talk about us being energy beings and frequency is what we frequently see. Where in your life are you not trusting yourself? Because somewhere in this energy field, it has been welcomed in. The trust has been broken. So where in your life are you not trusting yourself? Where do you need to work on some level of inner trust, inner safety, inner sanctuary, inner security? Because we were talking today with a group of ladies and we were saying, you know, this lady just found this enlightenment and went, I've realized no matter what happens in life outside of me, I am always okay. And that is that unwavering trust that we can all build in ourselves. So yes, trust. Once it's been broken, I believe it can be repaired, but it does take both parties wanting to commit to that and being open to it as well. And I believe relationship experts say it takes approximately 2 years to rebuild that trust. It depends on how transparent you are and how intentional you are about repairing that relationship. I believe anything can happen faster. So I hope that's answered your question. And I'm sorry, it's just from my perspective today, but there you go. And there's one other question. Why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable partners? So they come along and it's all nice and you're getting to know each other and it's all rosy posy. But then there comes a point where, you know, you want to take that relationship a bit deeper and you realize that they cannot meet your needs. They cannot be there emotionally. When you start to question them, they become defensive. When you start to say there's a problem, they shut you down. There's no level of responsibility. Why do we attract these people? Well, somewhere in you, that is how you are feeling about yourself and your life. You are not fully emotionally available for yourself, and there is a frequency inviting it in. And there's other things, you know, we don't often see that. We don't often join the dots and go, oh, I am emotionally unavailable for myself. What we often see is something like, oh, I'm an over nurturer. I am an over giver. So we try and save situations, but really we're not saving ourselves. We're looking outwards and we're trying to capture things and do things to prove we are worthy. And then maybe you're a people pleaser, putting everybody else's needs, or you're hypersensitive because things that have happened throughout your life that brings this hypersensitivity. And we're hypersensitive and you might look for people's needs and you might try and preempt things, but still that person there. So you're taking the responsibility for everything in the relationship, for both sides, you and them. Well, that's how it feels to you. But really there will be a level where you're looking after the other person, so desperately wanting your needs to be met, but there's somewhere in you that you're not doing that for yourself. And I do speak about that one from personal experience as well, because until I found that place of loving myself, having radical self-acceptance, meeting my own needs, then I did always want somebody else to do it first. I so desperately wanted that other person in my life to show me how worthy I was. I wanted them to prove it. But the more I wanted that, the less emotionally available they were. They may well have been practically available, but they become less and less emotionally available. And then you find that yourself asking for perhaps less and less, and it's still not available. So where inside of you can you heal and be your biggest cheerleader, be your biggest support person, know that you are worthy, but embody that worth. Embody it with every cell in your body. You know, I am worthy. Create that beautiful relationship with self, because how we feel and treat ourselves is a mirror for then how others can do that. And we set the standard. So where is your standard and how are you going to raise that standard? So you are in an emotionally safe place within yourself, and therefore you're going to welcome in that emotionally safe, emotionally available partner. Ooh, juicy, juicy stuff. When Stacy's here, I get to answer the questions so quick. It's just really quick. I would love for you to send more relationship questions through, whether, as I say, whether it's about relationships, intimate ones, friends, family, cash, money, wealth, health, happiness, career, entrepreneurship, whatever is in your life is a relationship, whatever's not exactly where you want it, whatever's not a 10 out of 10. If you've got a question bubble in there going, I just want some clarity around this, then please send them through and we'd love to answer your questions. Hoping Stacey's back in several weeks and we can get back up and running. But in the meantime, please keep sending your questions through, but maybe just send them through to me at the minute in case you want them answered before Stacey gets back. I'm going to love you and leave you on that note. Thank you for the questions today.